I was sitting around playing to do my daily orders for the first time in a while, and I was having a pretty good time, which is weird because nowadays I don't have as much fun playing duels as I used to, and I got to thinking about fun. How often did I have fun playing this game? Usually for the first couple of matches or when I'm just doing my orders, I'm having a pretty good time. The game's enjoyable for 3 or 4 matches or 1 or 2 breach games, and then after that I feel like I'm sort of playing for no reason, or I start getting a little frustrated over something, whereas before I could just play this game for hours on end and just lose track of time. And I know that I won't ever get to that point again because the novelty of For Honor has worn off after playing it for so long, but I think there's a few things that Ubi could do to keep this game fun for everyone else. And that's basically what I want to talk about in this video, the fun in For Honor. Because I mean, that's what most of us play video games for. I can't tell you how many comments I saw from people upset that there's going to be a sword and shield hero. There were more than I thought there'd be. I knew some people would be upset, and some of you were letting me know that you don't like it because you feel that Ubi will focus on working on the Harbinger heroes rather than the existing ones. And others are upset because Vortiger is going to have a shield, and shields are associated with bashes. And honestly, every hero who has a shield has a bash, even though I guess Warlord has a headbutt, and I get where you're coming from. I also think Vortiger will have some sort of shield bash as well. I'm assuming that he'll be a heavy hero, and a bash is like a necessity in this game in one way or another. Almost every hero in this game has a bash or a kick or some sort of crowd control, all but 3 I think. So I'm not sure why including a bash would be a bad thing. I get where it could be scary, but it really depends on what kind of bash it is in my eyes. If it's really safe and effective, guaranteeing damage and can be used in multiple ways like Conk Shield Bash, then yeah, I'm sure nobody wants that. But if it's a soft feint like Kensei's Pommel Strike or Valk Shield Crush, I really don't think anyone will care. If it's a follow-up to an attack, I also don't think anyone will care. This is coming from someone who doesn't really find bash-based gameplay to be fun. I think that they're okay if they are a part of a kit, but if it's the best part of a kit, then why would anyone use anything else if they just want to win? I really can't wait to see what Ubi has in store for us with this upcoming hero. I really don't think he'll be a bad or boring hero. I think after all this time, Ubi should know how to create a hero that works for this game. I mean, there's already been 2 years of feedback. Anyways, back to fun. I know that we often talk about balancing the game out, and that's only because I think the game would be a lot more fun for everyone if all the heroes were on equal footing. When I say that, I don't mean having every hero at a perfect 50% win rate at all levels of play and giving all heroes the same options, because that would just be boring and impossible to do. I just want to be able to pick any hero in the game and not feel frustrated because I can't attack. Now, in these past couple of videos, I've been getting criticized for saying that I think the Wu Lin aren't that bad to deal with. I may not like them, but I don't think they're terrorizing or ruining the game as a whole. I understand players' frustration, I really do. I get frustrated while fighting against them sometimes too, especially when I'm playing on console. And it shows me that people still want this slower pace For Honor, and I think that's because the game went from being this slower, defensive focused fighter to this much faster paced game, and it definitely turned some people off. Last week I told you guys that I wholeheartedly understand why unreactable attacks are needed for this game, but I didn't know why. I just don't like that they're there. And I think this could be a reason why, and it could be the reason I feel like unreactable attacks don't fit in this game. And I say that loosely because Ubi is really trying to make these faster attacks a part of more heroes kits and make them a part of the game, see the Wu Lin. And while the turtle meta may have been more fun for some people, it wasn't better for the game. I won't talk about this for long, but at the start, this game was really slow, and as players got better, it really highlighted some issues. I think if the game was as slow as it was nowadays, this game would be a joke. As so many people have gotten so much better, it'd be even harder to attack. Blocking was too easy, parries and deflects grant great rewards, and attacking was too slow to pose any real threat. I think that Peacekeeper was the only hero with a 400 millisecond attack at the time. And it's not fun to not be able to attack. It's boring. People like to be able to attack, and Yubi's been attempting to combat turtling since season 1. Every hero released after launch is supposed to have some way to crack open a turtle. And I think that Yubi has done a better job at trying to make heroes more fun to use, at least the newer ones, as I still think the reworks were wasted opportunities. I think I have fun with about half the roster. This has nothing to do with viability or how good a hero is. It's just my personal opinion on some heroes, and this is all based on 1v1 experience, but I have a pretty good time playing as Valkyrie, Raider of course, Tiandi as long as I don't use him for too long, Berserker, Gladiator, Kensei, Highlander the few times I've actually used him, Orochi, even though I think his kit is a little bare bones, I still enjoy using him occasionally, and he's one of the few heroes that I miss using and actually have an urge to play sometimes. Shaolin because he has an interesting kit, and Shaman. And I'm really stretching when I say Aramusha, only because I love dual swords. The rest of the heroes I personally don't have fun playing with or don't care for, although Nobushi is really on the edge. I think with some slight work she could be one of my favorite heroes. There are some heroes who have so much potential to be fun though, like Centurion. He's the coolest looking hero in the game with the best audio design, the clanky armor, the crunch of the punches and kicks, and the memorable voice lines. That stuff really matters to me when it comes to fun, and if he had a kit that was a little faster or less predictable, he'd be one of my favorite heroes. Or fan favorites like Lawbringer or Shigoki, heroes that tower over the rest of the cast, would be a lot more fun if they were a little more imposing and had kits that work. Heroes I don't find fun fighting against really have nothing to do with how good they are as a hero at all. It's more of their playstyles. Most of the heroes that I don't enjoy fighting aren't even really that good, except for 2. I don't have too much fun fighting Conqueror, obviously because of his defense and bash. Shinobi, who isn't too terrible to fight against, but a good Shinobi player really knows how to play safe and make fights really boring. There's Nusha, Jang Jun, only because of his animations. When that's fixed, I won't really mind him. Shigoki, only because I don't like how he has hyper armor and trading is boring, but he really doesn't have anything else, so you can't really blame them. And Lawbringer, only because he can hardly attack, and of course shove on block is a bad mechanic. Warden, and you know, honestly, Warden wouldn't even be that bad to fight against. I think he'd be so much more enjoyable to fight against if he couldn't cancel his shoulder bash so far into it. I'm fine with the shoulder bash now. I'm fine with them dashing around, canceling the bash. I'm fine with them unlocking to create space. I'm even okay with the bash having hyper armor after a certain point. I really only don't like the fact that he can cancel so late into it. And then there's Tiandi, who is on the fence depending on what platform I'm playing on. On PC, I don't mind him at all, but on console, I really only don't like seeing him in 4s. My favorite hero to fight against, on the other hand, is Kensei. I never feel frustrated when fighting a Kensei, and when I get mixed or something, I really don't mind. I hardly mind taking damage or losing a round at all in this game as a whole, mainly because I know that it's my fault if I get hit or lose, and I shouldn't blame the game for my mistakes. Now again, that's just my opinion, and there's not many heroes that I don't like fighting against in 1v1, which is good. I know that I'll never get to the point where I actually enjoy fighting everyone, but I mean, when I look at it this way, there's only a handful of heroes that I'd want to see worked on left. I still believe in the one new hero and one rework per season thing, and we know it's Vortiger and Shugo next season, and I believe both of them will be fun. So, I mean, if the other 3 new heroes and potential 3 reworks are fun, assuming they rework the heroes I think need work, I'd find a vast majority of the cast fun to play as and against. And if there's 4 or 5 heroes I don't like playing against in this game, I am 100% okay with that. I know that sounds super optimistic, but I think that this is For Honor's last year, and I really want to see it succeed, or at least end off in a good state. Other than heroes, which I think are the most important part of this game, the game modes are pretty fun. Dominion works for what it is. I can't really say anything is wrong with Dominion. Breach is fun, especially if you have a team. Duels and brawls have their moments, but can get really stale depending on who you're fighting against. Then there's Tribute, Elimination, and Skirmish, which, I mean, all have potential. I'd love to see Skirmish and Elim be populated again. Of course, Skirmish needs a few tweaks, and all 3 modes need a bump to the rewards, but they're not terrible game modes. Dominion is just way more popular. And then ranked is sort of a joke, and honestly I don't even see it being worked on anytime soon. I think having a reason to play the game other than to look cool and rep up would make the game more fun and relieve some of that burnout. Again, a simple challenge system or an expansion to the orders is the way to go in my eyes. The little events they do like once a season is always fun for a while too, and it looks like we've got one coming for each season of Year of the Harbinger, so that's something to look forward to. Anyways, that's all I've got for this video. I really just wanted to talk about For Honor for a bit since I haven't been able to for almost a week now. A whole bunch of things popped up at once that I've been busy with, so I wasn't able to sit down and make a video. I hopped on For Honor and realized I was having a good time and really wanted to talk about fun and what's not fun in a video since I haven't dedicated a video to it yet. I do want to hear from you guys though, so talk to me down in the comments. I really want to know who's your favorite hero to use and your favorite to go up against, as well as your least favorite to use and fight as well. And as always, if you agree with me or just like the video, feel free to leave a like, sub, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.